Richard Sherman, what is going on here?
I mean, I like it. That's spice. I like that.
I would think you would.
As long as you keep it on the football field and what we doing on the football field, what gets me is when dudes are like, let me catch you in the streets. And I don't care nothing about that. Like, y'all football players. None of y'all going, if you do thug stuff, you're going to lose all your money and lose everything you worked your whole life for, so it don't matter anyway. So keep it on the football field, and I'm good with it. C.J. Gardner-Johnson said, hey, when I see you on that field, I'm going to give you that work. Okay, Deebo going to say the same thing back to him. Eventually, we going to see who talking and doing the walking, and that's what I like. That's what I like, when you got to talk and then you got to walk, because Deebo ain't nothing to better eyelash at, and he going to catch him in the open field at some point or another. And Deebo's a physical player. C.J. Gardner-Johnson has had tips with guys in the past. I'm not mad at either guy.
And yet, Richard, you talked and then you walked, right?
No question, no question. I'm gonna talk about you. We're gonna get into this tip, and then this size 13 right foot, bang. Ladesh, like, you gonna get it. You gonna get work for 4 quarters. And if you get the best of me, sometimes I'm a get up, dust myself off, and I'm go at it again. And that's what I love about football.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right, Richard. We want to keep everything between the gates, right? In the facility, in the stadium. We don't want to have to take it to another level. I don't mind the back and forth, whatever.
Although, wait a second. You'll take it to another level.
I was going to get there, Skip, if you allowed me to. So, CJ also tweeted to Deebo, you see Deebo run, typical wide receiver behavior. Now, here's what I'm going to say to Mr. Johnson. It ain't typical wide receiver behavior, because I personally take offense to that because I played the position. Didn't play when you played a little before you, just a little bit. So if you are approaching me in this matter, then I'm going to show you something a little bit different. I do believe Deebo will show you something a little bit different on the football field. I don't look at Deebo as just a running back. He can run routes. They use him in a special way. He is physical. He is explosive and dominant at both positions. If one could argue that if he got the necessary touches at both positions, he could be the first guy in the history of the NFL to make the Pro Bowl at 2 different positions, since we seem to gauge people that way about Pro Bowls. Now, what he has done in the past, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, has run up on people with the talking and the chittering and chatting.
Yes.
And gotten smacked up. Whether it was my nephew in 2020 at Michael Thomas at New Orleans Saints practice, had gotten suspended for a game because he had to slap him up for running his mouth.
I think he popped him good.
Yeah, probably popped him really good. I mean, and then against the Bears, obviously in 2020, Javon Wims, as you see, had a whole slap-up situation there because he said that he did some stuff. Then in 2021, he had an issue with Leonard Fournette after the game. So he's got a edge to him.
He does.
Of talking and going a little bit overboard to the point that people want to put hands on him. So he needs to be careful with some of the things that he says, Richard, and how he says it and how he delivers it, because everybody ain't going to be as nice as you, okay, with the worrying about the off the field stuff. So everybody not gonna do that. It's just the reality of the way people think in this day and age.
Go, Richard.
I mean, stand on business. Stand on business. If he's standing on what he's saying, I ain't got a problem with it. Like, if dude's taking it off the field and doing all the extras, that's some nonsense. You know what I mean? Dudes ain't built like that. And really, if you was built like that, you ain't gonna make it to the pros. We all know dudes who really built like that, and there's a reason they didn't make it to the pros, and it wasn't talent. And so that's not really what I'm worried about. You could be tough in the NFL. It's gonna be on that field, and he's gonna have to stand on what he's saying.
You are certainly saying the right things, Skip, and Richard is about keeping it on the field. But my whole point is, there's dudes in the league, whether they're making money or not, that don't feel that way.
Well, you were one of those dudes. If you pushed Keyshawn too far, Keyshawn will take it wherever you want to take it. Off the field.
I grew up different, though,
Okay,
Skip.
I got it. I got it, and I respect that.
Yeah.
All right, I also respect C.J. Gardner-Johnson because he ain't no Richard Sherman, but he can play. And he could play at Florida because as a true freshman at Florida, he was the MVP of their bowl game that year. He's pretty good. He led the league in interceptions last year. It wasn't a lot. He was 6. And he didn't get a whole lot of money to go to Detroit, but he got $8 million for 1 year. It's not bad for what he does. And when he was in New Orleans, every time I looked up, he was making another play on somebody else. Does he talk? Would he get on your last damn nut? Yes, he would. But that's who he is. That's his edge. That's part of his
Grayson
game.
Allen liked in basketball.
Okay, all right. But Grayson didn't really talk. He just cheap shot it. I mean, he's just like going to get on your nerves for different reasons.
Brooks.
Mac Jones is Grayson Allen.
Brooks.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he is.
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks. He's that guy.
That guy.
He is that guy. But for the most part, C.J. Gardner-Johnson has walked his talk. He pushes people till they go completely over the edge. Your nephew, and we show all this video. It's happened 4 or 5 times in games where people just lost it because he talks them completely over the edge. He is a champion trash talker because he tends to go, so to speak, below the belt. You know, he goes places that really push the deepest.
Well, he's completely wrong about Deebo's ability.
Well, he's pushing the button. Okay, but he's pushing the button, trying to get him off his game, get him distracted. He's talking about playing them. He's obviously with the Lions now. He's been hurt for the last 4 games. I think he's about to come back. But he's saying whatever round we see you in, as in the postseason.
Can I ask you this? Because I don't know. What prompted this? What they don't even play each other.
Deebo, the fight. He saw a picture of it. He commented on a video of the fight between Cleveland and the Niners. And he said, typical receiver behavior, Deebo.
Okay.
He was saying Deebo was running from the fight until the left tackle showed up, right? Until Trent Williams showed up.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Okay. And then,
but there's
then
a
he
reason
got
they call
big
him
and bad.
Deebo, CJ. And there's a reason they call him Deebo. And I mean, at the end of the day, Kyle gonna give him a shot to make you stand on business, and y'all gonna meet somewhere on that football field. He's gonna have the ball, and you're gonna have to tackle him. And I'm gonna let you know something. He heavier than he look.
Yeah. Well, you know, because you played there. So Richard, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Is Deebo a true tough guy?
Oh yeah, he's a true tough guy. I mean, on the football field, that's what they, you know what I mean. Off the football field, I don't care who's tough. Right. On the football field, he's a true tough guy. He's a real physical player. He really about what he says about it. His tape speaks for itself. It's the reason his reputation precedes him. He can catch a slant and go 60, and not 60 because I'm running away from you. 60 because I may run through 3 people and go 60. So it's a reason why he got paid the big bucks, and you know he got the bag and he got the clout because he did it not only in the regular season, but he did it in big games in the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys were witness to that.
Very, very, very physical presence on the football field.
Is he?
You've got to be physical to play running back in the National Football League and do what he does. He's not just back there getting the ball to run sweeps. He's running between tackles. He's running on the edge. He's blitz picking up if he needs to. I mean, he's doing all of the things that running backs do. You're not going up against a 200-pound defensive back, a 180 defensive back. He's got to go through them big dudes up front to get to the linebackers that's big, to get to the small dudes behind them. So you got to be tough to do that.
I got it. All right, one last point on CJ. How many DBs have I covered through the many years I've done this, who talked and talked and talked to write checks they had to cash? It's almost like he likes putting the pressure on himself, so he has to live up to the pressure he put on himself. Did you guys play with players like that?
Yeah, but the ones that I played with that did that, they showed up.
They did.
I mean, we didn't, you know, Richard Sherman talked the talk. I didn't play with him, but I watched him, I covered him. Yep. And he showed up. It wasn't like he went out there and said something and then got bombed and then had to go sit on the bench with his head tucked between his legs.
Nope, I agree. And CJ, for the most part, has backed it up. Go ahead, Richard.
100%. 100%. And he's on a powerhouse team. He's on the Detroit Lions. They are a team that's winning and a team that should be playing meaningful games in January. So when they have to meet, it's probably going to be either the division or the NFC Championship game. Can't wait.
Can't wait. And by the way, CJ, not that it's all his doing, but wherever he's gone, his team has been pretty to very successful, right?
Yeah, playoff teams.
Yeah, okay. All right, there we go. All right, we got to get back to the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons. Speaking of talking, is Micah talking too much way too soon? That's the next question we got to answer.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.